Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the So Brothers channel. And this is my performance review of the Under Armour or Curry brand Curry 1 Low Flotro. So of course, this is the Flotroed version of the Curry 1 Low. I don't know why they didn't Flotro the Curry 1, but I'm glad that they didn't. And they retroed the actual Curry 1. Look at this. And we have the MVP colorway, or I mean, I got this on Champs, I think, or Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that. And they still have some sizes available, which surprised me. So if you guys do want to cop the Curry 1 Retro, I'll try to leave them in the description box. And also, links will be below for the Curry 1 Flotro as well. But yeah, I mean, you guys remember this is iconic, right? I believe Curry won the championship, his first championship in the Curry 1s, right? I may be wrong, don't quote me on that, but anyways, let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And of course, in the Curry 1 Flotro, we have the flow outsole and midsole, and you can't go wrong with it. You know what I mean? I mean, the traction is freaking too good. I actually, you know, I forgot which Curry I was playing, but it stopped so damn hard that my toenail came off. Sorry if that's TMI, but like it really hurt my toe. I was stopping and I just felt like my toe kind of bang the tip of the shoe, and I was like, oh, that does not feel good. It really hurt. So yeah, it's too good. You know, if you're playing on a clean court, it stops. It's like the hardest stop you'll ever feel. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is with this foam, but it's just absolutely crazy. You're going to be stopping on a pin, not a dime, on a pin. You know what I mean? If you're playing on a dusty court, however, okay, so here's my story. So right now, my gym has been refinished, right? And it has like a new finish on it. It looks a lot different. It looks a lot glossier as well than the older one, right? So on my older one, even if it was dusty, I didn't really have any problems, right? It would just, like, whatever flow outsole I was playing in, it would stick really well. And even if it was super dirty, I just have to do a really easy slight wipe and I was good to go, right? But now they refinished it, and it's been a couple of weeks since they did, and it was really clean, right? And when it was clean, it was biting like crazy, but it got a little dirty and dusty because, you know, they never clean it. It's a 24-hour fitness court. And it's been sliding around just a tiny bit, and it was different from the other finish. So that's just my experience with the Flotro. So I guess it does depend on what kind of like finish you are playing on basketball court. But anyways, so on the new one, it's a little bit dirty and sliding around just a tiny bit, but it's not terrible. I mean, it's still a really easy and slight wipe. I'll just go 1, 2, and I'm good to go. So it's still a really good performer on a dusty court, just not as good as the older finish. And also, if you're gonna be playing on an outdoor court, you should be okay. I mean, I say it all the time. I played in the Curry 8s on an outdoor court during the quarantine. It wasn't bad at all. I actually thought I was gonna run through this really quickly, maybe like 1 to 2 days, and would just like wear out all the way. But actually it held up pretty well. It's definitely not the best option for an outdoor court, but you can definitely make it work, I feel like. So the Curry 1 Flotro, pretty much like all the other flow outsoles and midsoles, has amazing traction, right? All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition. It feels really smooth as well, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice rounded and curved shape and fully exposed flow outsole. And honestly, this flow, I don't know what it is. It feels a little bit softer than the Curry 8, 9, and 10. Maybe it's the shape, I don't know. But we'll get into that, but feels nice here in the heel. And then here in the forefoot, we have a nice curved shape. Look at that, crazy curved shape, and a lot of forefoot flex, which feels nice. But there is a midfoot shin plate for good torsional support. So overall, heel to toe transition, when you're running down the court, it feels really smooth. Doesn't feel clunky or anything like that, like all flow outsoles have felt like, right? All right, moving on to the cushioning setup. So we got full length flow, and actually, like I mentioned, the heel has a little bit more compression than the Curry 10. I'm currently playing in the Curry 10 as well, and I brought the Curry 9s as well, just to kind of like compare. And the Curry 1 feels a little bit softer, right? Just a tiny bit softer. I don't know what they did. Honestly, I'm like nitpicking, you know what I mean? It just feels a little bit softer, you know, but there is a little bit of a difference there, so that's why I'm telling you guys. I'm guessing it's because of the shape, right? Maybe it's because it like kind of bulges out a little bit more, right? I don't know what it is, but great court feel. It's very responsive as well. There's a little bit of compression here in the heel, which feels kind of nice. Comparing it to other shoes that have great cushion in the heel, like the PG6 or like the LeBron 20, it doesn't really compare that much. But also, I guess impact protection was pretty adequate. You know, if you're doing heel strikes and stuff like that. If you're landing here in the forefoot though, it hurts just a tiny bit. So overall impact protection was okay. I mean, it feels pretty much like every other flow outsole and midsole ever, but with just a little bit more compression here in the heel. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a responsive low to the ground setup, then this is a great option. But if you're looking for anything from your cushion, like, you know, softness, comfort, bounce, great impact protection, then this is not it, right? I feel like Steph Curry just likes a really responsive cushioning setup. Like if you look at his entire line, it's been really minimal and like low key. You know what I mean? It hasn't been anything crazy. So why change now, right? Actually, he should change now. He's getting older, right? Wouldn't you want more impact protection, right? You're getting a little older. I don't know. But anyways, there's the cushioning setup there. Moving on to the materials. So we have a textile material and they changed it up from the actual Curry 1. The Curry 1 used anafoam, and in this color it's actually a little bit different. Like the actual finish, it feels different as well, but it is different. You know, this is more clothy. This is more like a synthetic material. Honestly, I feel like I like the Curry 1 Flotro better as far as the materials go, but it's not really I guess it's a Flotro, it's not a retro, you know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, it feels really thin, it feels nice, it's supportive as well. So it feels great here in the forefoot, and also we have, you know, this fused material going around the tip of the toe for extra durability and support if you're doing toe drags. And also it stays extremely thin here in the midfoot. Look at that, crazy thin. And then for the tongue, we have pretty minimal padding. It's a relatively large tongue, right? And also it's a half booty construction tongue, which gives you an overall better one-to-one fit. And also I do like this, right? You know, with this holographic, it changes from the old Steph Curry logo to the new one, of course, because the Curry 1, we had the old school logo, right? Also, there is the old school logo here in for the heel counter. So that's definitely the same. And then here in the ankle area, we have a very minimal amount of padding as well. So if you're looking for a very minimal feeling upper, right, with a good support and it conforms your foot very well, like a very comfortable, not super cozy, but it's comfortable in the way that it like conforms your foot very well, right? Then this is a great option. For 150 bucks, I feel like it's not the best for quality, you know what I mean? But it feels great on foot and I really didn't mind it. All right, moving on to the fit. I went true to size and fits me very well, right? So my toes go pretty much right to the edge of the shoe. And honestly, from my experience with Flow, with the traction being so damn good, maybe I should go up half a size from now on. I don't know, because my toenail came off, right? I feel like if there was that extra little space, it wouldn't have hurt as bad, but I just don't like to have extra length in my shoes, you know what I mean? I like to have a really snug fit, so we'll have to see on that. But one thing I didn't like though is this part scrunching up. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is dipping in like crazy. And like, look at that. Look at how much it scrunches up right there. And I had that same exact problem here in the Curry 1, and like this regular Curry 1 and also the Curry 1 Low, right? So I mean, I guess it's no surprise that it's the same way here in the Flotro, but in my first impressions, I thought it wasn't gonna be as bad, but it's actually just as bad, right? So it like, once you tighten up these like first two eyelets, it scrunches up like crazy, and there's a crazy amount of toe space, which I don't like, just in my personal opinion, right? And also fit is pretty damn narrow. So yeah, the fit wasn't amazing for me. If you do like to have a roomier toe box, then maybe just go up half a size. But for most people, I would just suggest going true to size, but just watch out for the scrunching up, right? All right, moving on to the support and lockdown, I had zero issues, right? So for lateral containment, there's not much going on for a lateral counter, especially here in the forefoot, but this textile material is actually quite supportive, and it rolled over on itself just a tiny bit, you know, but it wasn't anything terrible. I didn't feel like I was losing responsiveness. I didn't feel slow or sluggish, so it felt pretty damn good. But if you are a little bit heavier, just be careful here in the forefoot, you know, but for me, it was adequate enough. And then here in the heel, we have this external heel counter and the foam coming up acting as a sidewall. So lateral containment for me was adequate. And also lateral stability, we do have a little bit of an outrigger, right? It does protrude out just a tiny bit. It is a low wide base. So I guess the Curry 1 has a little bit more. Actually, no, it's around the same, I would say, right? Yeah, it's around the same. So yeah, lateral stability was good as well here in the Curry 1 Flotro. Also, I had no issues with heel slippage or anything like that. So support and lockdown overall was very, very good. Now moving on to the weight of the shoe. I mean, it's a Flotro, right? And it's an Under Armour shoe. It's a Curry shoe, and it's always really, really light. So let's check the weight. Yeah, 10.83 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 10.72 ounces. So yeah, extremely light. You feel really light on your feet. You feel really quick on your feet. You feel like a ninja because the traction does not squeak at all. So yeah, I mean, it feels like every other Curry Flotro, or I guess Curry shoe that has flow, or any Under Armour shoe that has flow, right? And I love what they're doing with the flow, you know what I mean? It's just a really lightweight foam, and also they don't have to add the outsole, which has always been rubber, and rubber takes up a good amount of weight, right? So yeah, it feels great on foot. And now as far as the ventilation goes, ventilation is pretty good. You know, we do have this mesh material through like this tongue right here, but as far as the ventilation holes, they don't have ventilation holes through the Curry One Flotro, as opposed to the other, like the regular Curry one, which has a good amount of ventilation holes. So there's not a whole lot of airflow through this, right? But it is a thin material, so it doesn't retain heat that well. So overall, it's average for ventilation. And now moving on to the aesthetics, it looks pretty good. This colorway is pretty sick, but did you guys see the Sour Patch Kids colorway? That colorway is pretty sick. So overall, the silhouette actually looks pretty good. And I also do like how it kind of kept the same silhouette as the regular Curry one, right? As opposed to the Curry 4 and the Curry 4 Flotro. So that's what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yeah, it's a top tier performer, just like any other Curry flow, like the Curry 8, Curry 9. It's amazing, right? The only thing I didn't like about it is the roomier toe box. So that would be one reason why I would stick to, or me personally, I would stick to like the Curry 8, Curry 9. But if you've played in the Curry 1 or the Curry 1 Low and you didn't really mind this, then you're not gonna mind it here in the Flotro, right? But everything else, yeah, amazing traction, cushion super responsive, but I guess it is a little bit softer than the other Flotros as well, or the other Curry flows. And then the materials feel thin. It's a very lightweight shoe and responsive. So yeah, if you're a guard, this is an amazing shoe, and I would recommend it to you guys if you want a very responsive shoe. But anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the Under Armour Curry 1 Flotro. Again, if you guys don't want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box, but that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.